Hello and welcome to episode number 6, I believe. It may be 5, do not quote me on that. Had a little bit of a break yesterday over on Sunday, just taking a Sunday chill off. And now I'll be going into episode number 5 or 6, whatever it is. The next episode, that is, of the Mongolian Empire in Uncut Season 3. We're on the 27th year of our game here. And we are beginning our glorious Mongolian expansion throughout the universe. We've dubbed the inner worlds here, the core worlds, sectioned them off as appropriate, and now we're going to be looking at expanding our horizons. With our terraformers moving to Zongdu for terraforming work, we are starting to colonize properly into Karakorum, which is great, and that will start boosting up more population, which we're looking at. And then Jin, we are also growing, and that will be a hub for mining Galisite, which we will need for building engines. And engines are going to be needed for boarding, and boarding is our only way of really killing things. So, without further ado, let's get into the episode. Now, talking about population, one of the big things that's currently affecting us is our worker shortage. Due to the low population count, or population rate that I set, we're growing very slowly. And this is to ensure that difficulty doesn't outpace technological power or research. Because of this, right now, industry is not doing great. We're getting some negative modifiers, we're losing about 13% of efficiency, and we're not able to continue production of facilities. I am keeping some production on research facilities, but each research facility requires 1 million people, and so that's a lot more extra work. So for now, we're just banking those resources. In today's episode, I kind of want to focus on getting our, I kind of want to focus on just sorting out our ship designs or ideas for ship designs, while also looking towards, potential ideas regarding army and just establishing outposts in different places. So by the end of the episode, I want to get Karakorum a refueling post, I want to get maintenance facilities, and I eventually want to get it some kind of fleet garrison. Then we have, and I want to do this for Jin A as well, Jin A1, and then Zongdu as well. I want all of these areas to get their own little protection forces, and I want to actually look at what kind of ships we can design. Before I do that, though, we're going to need to get nuclear pulse technology and better mesons, likely, combined with better fire control ratings. I want to go for fast, heavy punching ships that can do a lot of damage. That is going to be my idea. I was looking at mesons, and I noticed, meson focusing technology, I noticed that you can get 10 centimeter mesons, which are 150 tons. We could potentially make meson fighters, which could be pretty useful in close engagement swarm tactics. So that's a possibility. But anyway, we're going to need a lot of tech to do that. So right now, we're just going to be focusing on getting minerals, sorting our work shortage out, and allowing us to actually build research facilities to get the tech that we need. So let's start the game off. I want to cargo. We have our cargo fleet over here right now, and they're currently moving over infrastructure to Jin A1. I'm going to need to get a refueling station moved over to Jin A1 as well. That's 250,000 tons, so that's going to take 7 trips to move one. No, that'll take, 100,000 tons, that'll take 2, and I'll have to do another 0.5. Oh, it's a pain in the ass. Okay, we'll just move 0.5 at a time then, and then we'll be fine there. Then we want to establish refueling for both of these areas. So I'm going to have you stop for now. Unload the infrastructure on to Jin, and then head back to Seoul and do a refuel, and then I'll resort your orders out. In regards to exploration technology, we're going to wait on our nuclear pulse to finish up, or improve nuclear pulse anyway, before we go any further on that. Cargo fleet complete orders, which is fantastic news. I'm going to tell that cargo fleet now to begin loading up refueling stations, but maximum items of 0.5, because a refueling station is 250,000 tons, we can move 100,000. So we are going to move zero point 0.2 at a time, which means we will need to do this 5 times. So load refueling station, go to Karakorum, unload all installations, and then head back to Seoul and do a refuel. We're going to do this 5 times. This isn't the most efficient way of doing it, but it's the way the game will not screw up as much. And so that's what I'm going to use. Let's do 5-day increments now. Speaking of cargo transports, we are going to need some more, though, if we want to start pushing things. Oh, yeah, we had the retooling issue, so we have to wait on that. We finished up some more guard battalions because we are building them. Eventually, I want to start putting these into regiments. So, yeah, regiments, and we can use those regiments for various purposes. I'm going to put another regiment down. I'm going to put 2 more and then another planetary defense battalion. But yeah, I want to put these into divisions, and then we can get them, move them around for basic defensive purposes, as well as obviously planetary protection value dealing with. We are slowly going Gen 8, and hopefully we'll be able to sort that out. We are looking, of course, at terraforming this planet, I believe. Though I'm not sure what else we're going to be doing with that. We'll see. I do remember I did send some terraformers over, though. Okay, we're going to continue research, mainly in beam fire control range, getting our beam fire controls to a better state. And if I have a look over at our terraformers that I was talking about, you are moving to the Zongdu Moon A1, so that'll take 120 days for them to reach there, because they're very, very low-powered vessels. We did just increase our terraforming rate, which is a fantastic news, so I'm going to put 5 laboratories into that. Yeah, 5 labs into that, and we're going to continue to go up. We're actually going to go for genome sequencing, because that's going to lead us to genetic enhancements for troops, which will be better for boarding, and that's probably what we're going to be looking at for what we want. There's a couple different ideas I want to do for boarding tech, but that's definitely one of the ideas. I'm then going to put... Do we not have any extra labs? We do. We're just putting them all into there. So take away that. I'm going to put 10 of them into getting us capacitor recharge rate. And the next I'm going to put into getting us composite armor. Because I want to get that hull efficiencies and get them working together. Consider capacity upgrade on Earth has finished. 30,000 I was upgrading for that one. I'm going to look at starting our initial... Okay, we have to figure out what kind of sizes do we want for our vessels. So, what size do we want for a cruiser? What size do we want for a battleship? What size do we want for a frigate or a corvette or a destroyer? I'm thinking we start destroyers at 10,000 tons, cruisers at 15,000 tons, and battleships at least battlecruisers at 20, and then battleships at 25,000 tons. So I'm going to retool you to keep you going up to 25,000 tons. And I'm going to keep you going to... We're going to do 10,000 tons, and you'll be our destroyer yard. And 15,000, that will be our cruiser yard. Those are the shipyards we're going to need for that. And terraformers have completed those and arrived at this moon, which is good news because we needed to sort out the whole situation regarding it. So we need to add water vapor. We're going to need to add at least 0.5, I believe, to get the water to an acceptable level. So we're going to begin to add that, and terraforming capacity is not great. Yeah, the annual capacity is actually not great. How big is this body? The diameter is big, apparently. Apparent body diameter. You are pretty big. Did I move it to the right moon? I remember if I checked. I'm going to bring this up. Bring up Aurora electrons real quick. I remember checking Aurora electrons and it telling me that this moon would be the quickest thing in the system to do a terraforming job on. I'll have to see if that was actually true or not. We'll see. Mongolian Empire, habitability. I'm looking for time investments. Zongdu A2. It was A2, my bad. It was not the moon. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. So we're going to move you over here. That'll take 23 days to move to that place. And there we go. And then we can begin to add in the water for this planet, because it's a bit barren, got nothing on it, which is exactly what we're looking at for what we need. We also terraform significantly faster than Earth, 20 times faster than Earth, with a terraforming capacity of 0.312. What is the actual size of this planet? Zongdu, Colonial, Zongdu A2. No, it's a dwarf planet, my bad. The size is 2,800, so it's about 1,200 less than the moon. So really, really small in comparison. So we should be able to sort out the water vapor very, very, very quickly in comparison. Oh, well, the situation's looking okay, actually, which I'm surprised at. Considering the amount we're currently handling. Yeah, we're actually doing really well for our wealth. Worker taxes are coming in well. We're getting financial centers providing a significant amount of income. And then we also have civilian mining. In regards to that civilian mining, can we supplement our economy in any significant manner that's required? Not really. That is unfortunate. We are beginning to move those refueling stations over, which is going to be good. We don't have any tankers available, which we're going to need to look into, and that's something that I'm going to need to design. So we're going to go for a tanker. I want to create two types of tanker. I want to create one that's big and carries tons of fuel, tons of fuel, but it's very slow. And this tanker will just go back and forth, refueling consistently, while transferring fuel from large hubs like refueling stations. And then I want a fast tanker that we can use to supplement our military fleet. For now, we're going to design the big one, and in regards to that, let's just go with that name. That name works. And we need, what kind of shipyards do we have? What kind of shipyards can we use? 40,000 ton shipyard. We could use 72,000 ton shipyard. Let's do a 72,000 ton. So that'll work out. So we're going to add in commercial nuclear pulse engines. I think like 2 engines is probably all we're going to need, but we'll see. We'll need to add in a refueling system. We're going to need to add in a lot of fuel. So take out the fuel storage and then add in a large fuel storages here. And that is going to allow us to transport, I mean, how much fuel would we need in regards to this, right? Earth has a total of 72 million liters of fuel. One tanker would take 10 million liters, leaving it 1 million liters left for reserve fuel, which is quite a bit. But this would be a very, very cheap tanker, and would be able to transport pretty much everything that we would need, and we could then expand that at some point. Give it a conscript crew. Yeah, I think this will work fine. 15,000 tons. I wanted to build a much bigger tanker, but I guess there's not really much point unless we're moving metric, like tens of millions of tons of fuel, or liters of fuel around. So we're going to make sure it's assigned as a tanker. We are going to change out the this a little bit, so it's 500,000 instead, just because 1 million liters is a little bit much. And then we can pretty much build this immediately. I'll assign it to this yard for now when I can, but we'll have to wait on that one. In regards to other things like fuel harvesting stations, do we have access to a sodium harvester? Yes, we do. We don't have access to a ship tractor beam yet, so we could do another terraforming thing where we have like 1 or 2 engines on it, and it goes very slowly, sits in one place. We'll see. We might do that. But I would like probably to do stations instead, just because I want to mass produce that kind of thing instead of anything else. So we'll have to be waiting on the ship's tractor beam, which will be not that long. Will be 2034 or 30, the year 34. What about troop transports? Because again, if we're looking into like building divisions, if division is going to be 4080, is going to be about 100 kilotons, right? Which is going to be Oof. 3 regiments is 60 kilotons. 4 regiments is 80 kilotons. Yeah, 80 kilotons is probably looking at what we're going to be doing here. Which means we need a lot bigger of a ship. 80 kilotons to move a division. In regards to that, and 100 kilotons would move more than a division. I think a division's gonna be around 100 kilotons, so that's what I'm gonna set it as. And I'm gonna copy. We're gonna rename this. I'm gonna call this 100 kiloton class, and we're just gonna be replacing the. We're gonna add first. We need to add the troop transport base. So troop transport bay. We need to add enough space for 100,000 tons. Probably not gonna be possible. Oof. Yeah, that's gonna be a big ship. Big ship to move that much around. We're also gonna need a lot more fuel and some better engines. We're gonna add 8 engines. That gets us 500 kilometers per second. Probably want to add 12 engines, to be honest, but that's going to increase the cost quite a bit. This costs 600. 1, 2, 11, 12. And that's a big ship now. Yeah, we're going to go with 8 engines. That will reduce costs and will reduce size amounts. And then we're going to need to obviously increase the amount of fuel that we're adding on here. So I want at least, like, that's enough. Make sure on conscript crew. And that'll allow us to move 100 kilotons at a time around. If we need to move like entire divisions. For now, we don't need a design like that, but we may do in the future. So we may need to build extra commercial yards for such a design if we do want it. Trained, finished up, and we're now in April of 2009. What size do I want for the survey ships? The Khan was 7,000 tons. I think we'll upgrade the next one to 10,000 tons, which is going to be we're talking about nearly 50% increase on the tonnage size of the vessel. I think that'll probably be appropriate for what we want. Production of research facility is done on Earth, so we're still having those shortages. So I'm not going to produce any more in regards to buildings, because we need to keep our populations so that we can grow our situation. Calcorm and Jin are growing themselves, but again, it'll be a while before we can start shipping people back to the homeworld from their grown colonies. So we're going to be waiting here again for nuclear pulse to finish up, which is the main one, improved nuclear pulse. But we will see in regards to other things as well. We should have finished up the refueling station here soon. Cargo fleet has completed orders, which is good news. So I'm going to tell the cargo fleet to do the exact same thing. You're going to load up installations. You're going to load up refueling station. There we go. Maximum items 0.2. You're going to load that up, and you're going to take that over to Jin, and you're going to unload that onto the colony, and then head back to Seoul, and then do a refuel. You're going to do this 4 times. There we go, 4 more times, and that'll move that over just fine. Then we're going to need to get a tanker to move fuel over here. We already have a tanker available, but we'll need to get that built. So we'll go for Tula, and I'm going to order up an immediate one to be constructed. There we go, on the way. So 5-day increments here as we continue to go on. Looks like even they're starting to get fuel harvesters though, which is interesting. A lot of civilian traffic coming through and through. Did we get ground survey capabilities? We might have missed that. That's actually going to be important because I do want to get some. Yeah, we did get some geosurvey equipment. So I'm going to make a medium vehicle with geosurvey equipment on it. And we're going to call this the GS survey vehicle 218. Put it on the void combat and get that created, and then we need to get that researched as well. Power infantry armor we do have underway, however that is going to take a long time, and we kind of need the GSV as soon as possible, because they found quite a few ores like that moon, this area specifically. Venus has some as well. Karakatai, Nanzao, like there's a few other areas. I do want to do some ground geosurvey just to find out if we can get any extra resources that we may have otherwise missed. Retooling for the Genghis class has finished, which is fantastic news, and that's going to mean that we can build the Shakar class, which is the freighter we want to build. So let's get that built underway. Oh, we're building a Genghis. I don't want to build a Genghis class. Delete task. No reason for colony ships when we have civilians to do it at the moment. So Shakar, there we go. So 4 more Shakar classes, so that double our cargo fleet size, which will be a good thing. Additional water vapor to the moon has completed, which is absolutely fantastic. So if I look at environment, that water should now hopefully be going into the atmosphere, condensating, and it's frozen for now, unfortunately. It's a bit of a problem. But if I open up this, so water vapor to a small amount, if I just be 120. Set oxygen to 0.1 and set Artesium. We're going to set Artesium first and then we'll set oxygen. So we're going to set Artesium to 0. How much was that? 0.392 or 0.323. Add that to the atmosphere. That should take about a year. And that should warm the body up enough for us to finish off colonization in that regard. Oh, capacitor charge rate we just got up. That's fantastic. Let's continue getting up there. I want at least 3. 3 is the base before I consider building vessels for like proper vessels. But yeah, it should take about a year to get the Artesium we need, and then the oxygen shouldn't take any time at all. Okay, we can now start to build our new. We can start to build some geosurvey battalions. Geosurvey battalion. Geosurvey GSB. And we're going to put in 218. Let's do a little calculation. We're going to have 500. So 4,975 divided by 218. It gets us 22 vehicles. Which means we will generate 4.4 points per day. Which is pretty good. And we're going to need to add ourselves in a battalion, of course, because we do want to get some geosurvey bonus on top of it. So there we go. Geosurvey battalion. And we will train up as many as we can get there. Alright, let's see here. Alright, yeah, what do we want to do? Well, GSV done, so we can begin to get our ground stuff sorted. Well, yeah, we just finished up the geosurvey time, right? We start building them. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll start off with 4 of them. And those will be done on 2032, so should be all good in that regard. 5 increments ahead now, and ooh, the ice sheet on Zongdu A2 has melted, which is fantastic news. If we have a look over here, we can have a look at the current temperature situation, and that temperature situation is being dealt with pretty adequately. We're raising that temperature up pretty nicely here. 4 Shakar class cargo ships just finished up, and we're going to order another 4 of them to be built, because we're going to need the transportation capacity here shortly. So I'm just going to order 1, 2, 3, and then we'll order another one to be produced as well. I'm going to then put those Shakar class vessels into a reserve cargo ship fleet. Cargo ships, and then yeah, those are reserve cargo ships. And when is our nuclear pulse getting sorted? We should have our improved nuclear pulse here soon, which is fantastic news. We finally can start looking at better exploration vessels, and continuing to get better and better technology. The first tanker just completed, so we're going to rename this to Tankers. Fuel Transport Group 1. I saw the admin commands out at some point, but for now this is fine. You are going to refuel from Colony, then you're going to go to Karakorum, and you're going to transfer fuel to that colony, and you're going to do this, I think, for now, since we don't have much of a navy, I'm just going to give the order for... Ooh, excuse me. Give the order for 2 years. I think that's probably going to be the appropriate amount. 2 years of time is fair. I'd say fair. So order delay. Oh, move last. You're gonna move from colony, then go to Karakoram, which is gonna have the order delay on, and then 0 transfer fuel to colony, and then cycle those moves, and that should be perfectly fine. And then I'm going to also order up another tanker to be constructed. There we go. Let's continue doing 5-day increments. What do I need to be updated on? Transfer fuel to colony. Move delay. Then go back to Sol and refuel. Transfer. That should work. Okay. Adding Cesium has reached the required amount over on the dwarf planet, which now means we're at a nice warm 5 degrees Celsius average temperature. And now I'm going to begin to add in the oxygen that we're going to need. We're going to need 0.1 oxygen. We also have plenty of water available. Apparently I added a little bit too much water there, but you know, might turn this planet to a little bit of a ocean, but I may have underestimated the amount of water that the planet would need. But either way, we're going to have to add in the 0.1 oxygen now to make it a nice habitable planet. It shouldn't take it too long, maybe 4 or 5 months. Research into improving nuclear pulse engines technology, which is absolutely fantastic news. So we can begin to look at a 10,000 ton ship. And we're going to look at 3,000 kilometers per second with a 120 billion kilometer range. But we're going to put an improved nuclear pulse into this now. So that'll be 2 size 40 engines with a fuel HS of 22.7. Gives us 5,000 tons to play with. What if we add in a jump drive? That gives us 2,000 tons to play with. That seems appropriate. That increases our speed quite a bit. Increases our range pretty decently as well. Though I may want to look at decreasing that somewhat. 70, 30. Yeah, 2,800 meters per second might be better. That gives us 5,000 compared to this, which gives 1,800. We'll do 2 size 40 engines. I think that'll work out just fine for us, and that's the biggest engine we can build. What kind of boost do we want on that? We want a 0.75 engine boost. That gives us 300 EP engines. And we're going to immediately prototype that design. And we're also going to need to get a jump drive that's going to be capable of jumping the vessel, a 10,000 ton vessel. So 8,000 and then 45. We need a 50 site engine. It's going to take quite a bit of time to develop here. So prototype that design as well. We're going to make a new vessel. It's going to be a survey. They've run out of Mongolian names, which is kind of a problem. We're going to call this a survey destroyer. Well, survey frigate will work either way. And then we're going to go for a new name. There we go. And we're going to have to add in the engines. So we're going to add 2 of these engines. So that does give redundancy now, which is always nice to have. And then we're going to need to add in the fuel. Good. Going to add in science department, auxiliary control, and main engineering. Add in the 10,000 ton jump drive. There we go. And now we need maintenance and fuel. Oh yeah, we also need the sensors. That might that might be important. Adding in the sensors and whatnot. Gravitational and geological. There we go. So that seems fine enough for me. I'm then going to add in, we can probably reduce the fuel a little bit. We don't need as much fuel here. So I'll add in that much, and then I'm going to go for engineering. Get the IFR down pretty decently. 2% IFR is probably acceptable here. Yeah, we'll do a 2% IFR, and then I'm going to buff that up with maintenance storage bays. I 2% And that gets us 4 years. We'll do 48 months. It's a long time, isn't it? Okay, this isn't feasible at this level yet until we sort out our jump efficiency. Because that's the main problem right now, is we need to get our jump drive efficiency up a level or 2 before we can start designing new survey vessels. Geo-survey battalions are now done though, which is good news. And so I'm going to take our 20 kiloton vessel here, orbiting Earth. We're going to take the Geo-survey battalions, so load up, and load up. That is all of them. And I'm going to then dump them onto Venus first off. And then we'll have you refuel from Earth. It shouldn't take too long, that. There we go. They complete their orders, and we should have, hopefully, information regarding Venus. Either way, we have just finished up adding the oxygen, and that means that Zongdu A2 is now a terraformed, lovely planet that we can begin moving colonists over towards. Now, if I open back up, where was it? Need to open up Aurora electrons again. And I'm going to also save so that it updates. We're going to have a look at what other colony places that might be of good target. Either way, we now have a completely habitable planet that we can move people to when we need to. So Mongolian Empire, I want to have a look at habitability. I want to have a look at time. Zunhawa, 4.3 years. Nanzhao. Kirakatai, A413. Total minerals. What does that mineral say? Kirakatai, potential 8.3. Total minerals, that much. Let me have a look at the planet in question. Kirakatai. Which is this planet? A15? A13. And it's the 5th planet, A13. This world we could terraform actually has some pretty good amount of minerals on it. Corundium, gallacite, uranium. Has some really good potential. Yeah, why not? Let's go for that terraforming on that world, and we can begin to colonize in that direction as well. And start growing stuff out there. How long would it take it to terraform one of these planets? So let's say like this planet, which is a nitrogen oxygen atmosphere, kind of bad temperature to be honest. What about this one? This one's probably going to be a lot easier, right? Because we just need to add a breathable atmosphere and water, though we don't really need to add water over here. What if I just get rid of everything but Kirakatai or Karakatai? Yeah, Karakatai. So this would take. So A31, that would take 9.5 years. Okay. The 8th planet, that'd take 14 years. Jesus. This will take 14. No, that'll be the 7th planet. That'll take 14. Okay, so we're going to go to the 13th moon, create a colony there, and we're going to establish another habitable little terraformed area which we can use. So we're going to have you move over to Karakatai. There we go, and have you move to location. That'll take 800 days and quite a lot of your range, but we're going to need to for various reasons. We just finished up some more Shakar class vessels. And what about Venus? Have we been able to get any ground potential information? Not yet. Still work shortages. We are slowly dealing with it, very slowly. And we just managed to establish our first colonists on Zongdu A2, which is good. And we will continue to establish them, and we may even get some mining on that as well. But now it allows us to gain a presence. So we now have a presence in Zongdu, Karakorum, and Jin. And we're establishing geo-survey potential, and we should have the first fuel shipments have arrived soon. I'd hope, at least. A fuel transport group, how much longer? 500 days before that will actually send fuel over to that planet. So quite a bit of time there. And how long until we can get that jump drive efficiency up? 5 days, 25th, 25th of July, 2038. Any better scientists? Not really. That's unfortunate. So we're just going to continue to do 5-day increments there. Buckley fleet has completed orders, which means we also now have a refueling station over at Jin, which is good news. We're going to put that to stable as well, and we're going to have them just grow into Zongdu. They can also go into Karakorum as well, but for Jin, I'm going to keep that stable for now. I'd like this to be stable. Stop pulling people out of it. I mean, we kind of have to just to grow colonies out. But, so we'll have to keep it. Anyway, I think that's probably going to leave the episode off. Not a lot happened this episode, but we are getting to the point where we can start to do our next phase of exploration. We can get our ground forces to start surveying, and we're starting to properly establish ourselves across the solar system. And our terraformers have been really the pride of everything, and in doing a great, great job. I'll see you guys next time. Please like, comment, subscribe. Really does help me out. Consider becoming a member over on the join button. If you do, it really, really would mean a lot to me. Goodbye.